Tuesday. Hope you guys are doing well out there. And I have a few real headlines for you. And I don't know if you're feeling, if you feel like sharing, pick up the phone. Otherwise, hang on tight. Starts right now. Hi, everybody. It is Black Spring with Autumn on this Real Tuesday. And thank you so much for tuning in. And I don't know, how real is your Tuesday? I've got a few things to share with you per usual. But as I said in the opening, I, of course, invite you to pick up the phone if you are inspired. We will have, I guess, people's pendulum time for the people to speak as freely as you can. And I'm trying not to be too sarcastic when I say that, but we will be referring to the coof or the Kool-Aid, and our typical buzzwords. But of course, I would be remiss if I did not thank our loyal patrons, subscribers, and of course the viewers like you. It has been a lifetime. And stay right here. I'll be right back right after a few words of thanks to our friends, viewers like you, and of course the patrons. All right, so we have just one more, and I'll be right back right after this. This show is brought to you in part by our sponsors. Whether you're interested in health, culture, politics, scripture, automobiles, or music, please check out Derek C. Williams, Killer Whale Channels, The Definition of Anarchy, Marcy T., Joseph Francis Burton, Paralysis by Analysis, Chrysler Imperial H, Little Miss Goth, AZ Infidel, Cold War Jesus, Anthony Scioli, and Let the Truth Be Told. We'll be right back right after this. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn on this Real Tuesday. And I would love to say hello. We just have a moment. We have a few people. Well, one person in right now. Thank you so much, Risen Ability. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for tuning in on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. So before we get started today, I would like to go ahead and give you guys just a little bit of a brief on what we're going to be dealing with on this segment. We're going to deal with the IRS will require facial recognition scan to access your taxes. We will also take a look at how the mRNA and DNA mocktails could soon treat cancers, HIV, autoimmune diseases, autoimmune disorders, and genetic diseases. We'll also have a quick look at a 10-year-old. We had, if you don't remember, the 10-year-old has been in the news. It's been stated that she was arrested. But if any of you are privy or of law enforcement, or either have the legal counsel to expound on that, you can speak up on that. I really appreciate you guys so much for coming in on the 11th hour. So we'll be encouraging you guys to speak up, and I will be putting a link out there for you as time reveals. And it's a Real Tuesday. So welcome in if you're just now coming in. And hello again to Reasonability. I'm not sure if they're letting up a little bit on the Uncle algorithms, but if you could hit the like button for us to let them know, hey, I frequent this show. We're available, and I kind of like what I'm hearing, what I'm getting, and that's what brings me back. I want to thank you guys so much for coming in on this segment of Real Tuesday. All right, thank you so much. And Arisen Abilities here. All right, so let's go ahead and hop into our first topic. How are you guys doing today? I hope you're doing well out there, and it is definitely a Real Tuesday. So, as I stated, as I promised, we will deal with the first liner, and it will come from the IRS will require facial recognition scan to access your taxes, and that's coming from nextgov.com. So we're going to have a quick look at that. Hope you guys are doing well out there once again. So I'm going to be sharing my screen with you. I really appreciate it. A lot of wonky things going on. What do you say? I'm probably going to I want to do a little bit of a rant. I said it's real for a reason. Not just lip service, but I said it's definitely real for a reason. It's Callie Unknown. Callie Unknown coming in with the hearts. Thank you so much, Callie Unknown, for coming in. I really appreciate it. So, as you can see, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in just a hair on this. I won't go all the way out of the screen since it's been a while since I've seen you guys. So let's have a quick look at this. All right, so we'll start with the nextgov.com. Got a few, couple little digs in there for you. All right. So for anybody coming in, you can see from now on, I will be handling liners as such. You will catch perhaps the topic of the actual stream or the at the moment. You will catch that at the bottom of the screen. As you know, if you've been a frequenter on any level on this particular program, you notice I don't put that in the description box because I do think that the algorithm uses information from your actual your description box to I think they use that to either channel or detract from your actual streams. So you will find that when you come in, so it actually will be more of a guide to some of those who are just getting to know how we do things around here, but it'll be a little bit different, but hopefully a little bit of a marker that is built in instead of, giving you the synopsis on the show. I know that's more attractive and it's more informative to have it set up, in the box before you come in. But I'm just trying to do that to try to skirt some of the censorship. All right. So we're going to get going here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And who else do I have? I'm not sure. Looks like I have the BOTs. And if you guys want to take care of that, if I have any stripes in the house, I welcome you to take care of that at any time. All right, we're going to go ahead and start with this one. Give me a 5x5. You can see if you have any issues. Uh-oh, I think I am on the wrong frequency here. Okay, I'm on the wrong frequency here. I'm going to stop sharing that particular screen and get to the right screen. So the screen we're going to deal with is actually, the liner we're going to deal with is actually going to be the IRS. And it's not next gen. I'm on autopilot today. Very, very poor autopilot at that. So as you can see, we're going to deal with the IRS will require, again, facial recognition scans to access your taxes online. So boy, oh boy, may I preface this and say, are we getting more? Is it starting to feel like we're beholden to them, that we're not exactly the leaders? And is it starting to seem like we're serving them rather than they're serving us? I'm just saying, I'm not a constitutional scholar or George Mason Scholar, or I don't have any of those elite hacks or tags or handles in front of my name. But it's just starting to seem like we're getting more and more. It's like they are ready to reach into your pockets even more. Not we're getting taxation. We're up for more, if not taxation. We're definitely up for more surveillance. We're becoming a nanny state. We got to see what you're doing at all times. They tell you what you can use, these other third-party apps for. So let's get to it, shall we? Thank you so much again. And Callie Unknown says, I smash bots and eat trolls for breakfast. Gotta take this call. See you later. Thank you so much, Callie Unknown. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're gonna get started now with the right liner. I apologize for the unmatching, for the mismatch there. All right. Okay, so here we are. And then I will put the link out if you wish to pick up the People's Pendulum line here in just a second. Okay, according to this is by Mac DeGuerin. And this was released on Wednesday. Okay. According to this, online tax filers in the United States will soon be required to submit a selfie to a third-party identity verification company using facial recognition tech in order to access their IRS accounts. Starting this summer, according to an IRS spokesperson, users with an IRS.gov account will no longer be able to log in with a simple username and password. Are you guys familiar with that good old username and password? My, seems like we got that back in the 90s. I don't know. First internet accounts or email accounts or whatnot. Just saying, just a little nugget there. Oh, well, I'll digress. Instead, they will need to provide a government identification document, a selfie, and copies of their bills to Virginian-based identity verification firm ID.me to confirm their identity. That change, first noticed by Krebs on Security, marks a major shift for the Internal Revenue Service, which previously allowed users to access their accounts with submitting personal biometric data. In a statement to Gizmodo, an IRS spokesperson said users can still receive basic information from the IRS website without logging in, but added they would need to sign in through ID.me to make and view payments, access tax records, view or create payment plans, manage communication preference, or view tax professional authorizations. The IRS spokesperson said later the information he initially provided was not accurate. See update below. So here's how accessing IRS online accounts will work for most people later this year. Users attempting to log into their accounts using ID.me will have to create an account with the company by uploading either a driver's license, passport, or passport card. Users are then told to use a cell phone camera or their computer's webcam to take a selfie. According to ID.me's website, the company uses a facial recognition system to verify the selfie matches the provided government document. If approved in ID.me's system, users can then use the credentials to verify their identity across any ID.me's partners. If ID.me's system fails to verify a selfie or flags other issues, that could be considered fraud. The users may then join a recorded video call with an ID.me representative called a, quote, trusted referee, end quote. ID.me claims it has verified more than 2.8 million people through the referees and has begun implementing some in-person identity verification options across the country. Quote, ID.me offers multiple relief valves or escape hatches to ensure there is always a path forward for everyone, end quote. The company said, quote, we are committed to a policy of, woohoo, get this, no identity left behind. Oh, wow. Is that ringing a bell? Where do we hear that from? No identity left behind? My gosh, what else is going to be left behind? Okay. What else would there be no left behind campaigns for? Okay. At least as of this writing, ID.me's verification process does not work perfectly either. One member of Gizmodo's staff was unable to verify their image due to the quality of their webcam. Unable to resolve this issue, that person opted to ditch the digital system entirely and file their payment by mail. I went through the first stages of completing an ID.me application to see what it was like. The process required me to submit a photocopy of my driver's license as well as a face scan using my phone's front camera. ID.me then required I submit my social security number. And it requested permission to see information in my credit profile. Feeling sufficiently creeped out, I stopped short at the final stage, but I had continued. I would have given up a treasure trove of personal identification, including government documents, credit history, and detailed biometric data. In a white paper shared by Gizmodo by ID.me, the company was quick to draw a distinction between its face match system and lesser facial recognition verification systems. Quote, face match is equivalent to an airport agent comparing your face to the photo on your government ID card, end quote, ID.me said. Quote, facial recognition is equivalent to giving your picture to the same agent, putting him on stage at a rock concert and asking him to pick your face out of the crowd, end quote. The key difference here is that unlike some algorithms like those used by Clearview AI, which scans images against a wide trove of potential matches, ID.me service compares a face scan to a single provided government document. Despite the distinction, digital rights groups like the Electronic Frontier Foundation have nonetheless expressed serious concerns over the use of face matching technology, speaking to the widely known issue of racial bias in facial recognition algorithms. ID.me claimed its internal research had shown, quote, no detectable bias tied to skin type, end quote. According to the company, the face match step has a 98.9 pass rate per user. ID.me assures users signing up for an account that it doesn't trade, sell, or lease data to any third parties, though it does share some data with, quote, select partners, end quote. Prior to submitting one's government documents, users are required to accept ID.me's biometric consent policy. All right, folks, I got to jump in here just a second. Is this not, are you guys, does this not feel like some type of Fourth Amendment violation? I mean, your privacy is like a luxury right now. Like you can't even, what, you got to have money. That's a privilege, right? That's an elite privilege it's starting to look like. And we've talked about this before. We talked about this, Big Brother and all that kind of a bit before. We've talked about, I did a video. I'm going to try to pull that video while in this program to try to show you of, we've been given a preview on what's to come. And I want to play that video. I want to play, it's my own very video. So, they might try to ding me, but I made the video. So let's finish this one up and then I'm going to flash that for you. Hope you guys are doing well out there. So, you got to accept their biometric policy. So let me just rock that out here for you for a second. You got to accept that. I might try to flash that on the screen for you guys. This is really intense. Do you see how close they are to this quote, the mark? Can you see it? Can you see once they start doing all inclusive? The more inclusive it becomes, I'm going to abbreviate this one. The more inclusive this ID recognition becomes, the more it resembles something else. We're being a soft program that seems. The company's policy says it collects both facial biometrics and voice prints, in addition to using the biometric identifiers to verify a user's identity and protect against fraudulent behavior. The company's policies state that they may also be used to, quote, comply with a request from law enforcement or government entities where we're not prohibited by law, end quote. If a user does decide to cancel their relationship with ID.me, the company may retain the data for up to 7.5 years. Guys, this is tremendous. This is incredible. It's worse than, it's like an eternal, like once you sign up for this thing, it's like a web. You're in the web. Once you tap in, you're there. And I think we're already in the web, believe it or not. So I'll continue. The IRS formally announced ID.me had become a trusted technology provider last November, but the company itself has been around for over a decade. Formed in 2010, ID.me has become a leader in identity verification, particularly among government agencies. The company gained attention later last year when Reuters reported that at least 27 US states spread out across the country were using its services for to vet jobless claims applicants during the pandemic. So you see how the pandemic has opened the doors, an incredible amount of doors. Has been a very auspicious opportunity to usher in what I call violations. Okay, so you had over half the states in the country used this ID.me program to vet jobless claims during the pandemic. So here we go. In the name of safety, the pandemic safety, in the name of safety, all this is being revealed. States reportedly introduced the technologies to combat a supposed increase in fraud. Well, I guess California their program didn't work out so well because there was tons of fraud, right? And still violations, right? Fourth Amendment violations. However, in some cases, filers said the additional layer of verification was creating a layer of hassle and accessing benefits, particularly among those less accustomed to modern technology. See, we're kind of getting into the Gates line, in the name of safety, you got to do this. In the name of safety, you got to have an ID, because I do believe, shout out to Derek C. Williams if he's anywhere within the sound of my voice or these waves. I think Derek C. Williams did a video once on, basically, he talked about, the gates of hell connections and connecting those with India. He's got these partnerships all over the world, and they're all, they want to take care of the poor. It's all about humanity. But this, I think there's was it MasterCard and another partnership that they had, Gavi, basically were getting ready to load it up with these people's ID and making sure they had ID as they traveled. The more, I think the argument was something like, the more mobile people were, the more they needed to be able to be identified. So that's what I would, that's kind of in the past. But shout out to Derek C. Williams, per usual. Hope you're doing well out there. Okay, so also in New York, News 10 NBC, they told numerous accounts of residents struggling to navigate through the verification systems, including one woman who claimed she had waited 19 weeks for her unemployment benefits. Quote, every week I call and I'm getting nowhere. It's about $3,000. It's only $168 a week, but that $168 a week covers groceries, medical, and gas, the woman told News 10. Quote, I'm at a loss here. I try to call to talk to somebody and ask what I'm doing wrong here, and I can't get through to a real person, end quote. While these individual cases are anecdotal, they offer potential warning signs. I say signs, they said sign, for what may happen when all online U.S. tax filers are encouraged to use biometric-based verification systems to complete a practice both fundamental and required of them by law. So I think by now you guys have heard about the Venmos, the Cash apps, that all of that is going to be more closely monitored. So if you are, whether you're accepting gifts or whether you're doing a business, I think if you're doing the business is where they are going to hit people, the hardest. Like the small business people, I think they're literally gunning for the lack of a better word, algorithm. They are really targeting, I think, small businesses and anybody that wants to pursue, a small business. They want to know what those earnings are. So you're going to be, I guess you'll be getting a 1099 or pony up your records, or get squeezed and or pony up, or one of the two. So yeah, so that's that was your story on IRS. The IRS required the facial recognition. So what I want to do is I kind of want to go back into my own archives here just for a second. There is an actual video that I did on that I did on where we were going, because there's been all kinds of partnerships in history. I mean, recent history that talks about where we're going. I've talked to you guys about the Schwab and the Fourth Industrial Revolution. I've talked about the Great Reset, which everybody else, it seems people that are on the uninformed persuasion are referring to it as the Great Resignation. You know, you've got two narratives. It's amazing how we have red and blue, conservative or liberal or Republican, Democrat, and now we have the Great Reset versus the Great Resignation. So which one are you on? Which one do you know, are you most informed about? I don't think I said, do you know everything, but you know, which one are you most informed on? You know, to me, the reset is is closer to the economics. I think a lot of the battles are economic, and something like a resignation, so that people can go from being, you know, cubby hole or cubicle hole workers to sculpting ice crystals for a living. That's the romanticization. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put our People's Pendulum lock out there for you. I hope you guys are doing well on your Tuesday. Has been a while, but you know, I just decided to come in. So let's see, I want to make sure that I have a link for you. And if you're interested, you are always welcome and you are invited to speak out and to come up. But we are going to switch gears. But just before we do, I want to say that we've been previewed. We've been given, some people call it soft programming. I would call it foreshadowing, or whatever. But you've been given a preview on, you know, on what the elite thinks, how they think this thing should go, how they think we should run our lives and how we should spend our lives, and what they have, what their goals are for 2030. And I think they are doing everything that they can to, if they have the couple years, if they have to double up for 2 years, if they have to expedite their plans by twos to get them back on that track, is exactly what they're going to do. So once again, I am really happy to be here with you guys right now. And thank you so much for tuning in. But what I also want to do, kind of want to get to what they call, I kind of want to get to the shorts, to the short of things. Yes, I hope you guys are doing well out there. I am going to be playing a very old, it's an old clip, but it's still very valid. It goes into all of these nuances, and it's I kind of added my own poetic spin to it. So if you could humor me on that, you know, that'll work just fine. So we'll take just a quick little break here, and I will be right back, hopefully with that clip for you. And then we'll move on to our next story with what's happening with mocktails. I will be right back. Thank you so much for tuning in. Black Spring with Autumn here. And if you'd like to help us out with our AI and dissemination of the stream campaign, please hit that like, unlike, dare to throw caution to the wind by sharing, or just making sure that you're still subscribed to the channel. And I want to thank you for your ultimate and baseline level support here on Black Spring with Autumn. And we'll be right back right after this. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for your patience. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead in just a second and move us on to the next story. But on that last tidbit, we will go back. I will show a video in reference to the ID.me, because I did spend a considerable amount of time working on that particular clip. And I think it might give you a little bit of visual into what's been proposed and what it was actually something via the JBS. The actual content actually came from the JBS, but I put my own spin on it and kind of repackaged it and represented it in another way for you. So hopefully you will see that in one of our clips before we tag out on this particular stream. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to move us forward, and then we'll come back to it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Okay, so here we are. I thought you might find this a little bit interesting, since we are always talking about mocktails. But I'm wondering, is this another attempt to advocate or to show people the advances in science in a time of something that is very much unresolved in this current situation that we're in? And so this one is from thenextgov.com. How mRNA and DNA mocktails could soon treat cancers, HIV, autoimmune disorders, and genetic diseases. Okay, according to this comes from Deborah Fuller. Okay, she hails from the University of Washington and their School of Medicine. She's a professor of microbiology. Okay, according to this, mocktails could be coming for issues we traditionally could not mocktail against. Okay, so are you guys seeing? I hope you guys are following this. You're catching this pretty well. Okay, so according to this, how long have the gene-based mocktails been in development? This type of mocktail has been in the works for about 30 years. Nucleic acid mocktails are based on the idea that DNA makes RNA, and then RNA makes proteins. For any given protein, once we know the genetic sequence or code, we can design an mRNA or DNA molecule that prompts a person's cells to start making it. Okay, so you see, this is I think part of the squeamish, or what people get they get concerned about. You're trying to, this is not a typical mocktail. I'm not giving medical advice for the bots and the algorithms. This one is actually it's not, to me, it's doing something different, quite different than I think the traditional or the conventional. Let's say the conventional. This is not your 1980s mocktail. Okay. The functionality, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a biologist, but I think we can all recognize when something is not exactly operating within with the functionality. I think we can all see that, or we can all meet somewhere with the same recognition that there are some some differences there. Am I saying it's for the betterment or not? I am not. So yes, hello. It's Marcy T. Marcy T, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and drop out the Speak Up link for today. Hope you guys are doing well out there. So this is going to be the Speak Up link here. All right. How are you doing, Marcy T? Thank you so much for tuning in. So if you're interested in speaking up, the link is there for you. Okay, so we're on to our title from thenextgov.com. So here we are. So they're talking about giving you a little bit of a landscape for this. They said, when we first thought about this idea of putting a genetic code into someone's cells, we were studying both DNA and RNA. The mRNA mocktails did not work very well at first. They were unstable, and they caused pretty strong immune responses that were not necessarily desirable. So are we having an admission of something? Is that not possible right now with what I'll just keep going here. For a very long time, DNA mocktails took the front seat, and the very first clinical trials were with the DNA mocktail. But about 7 or 8 years ago, mRNA mocktails started to take the lead. The researchers solved a lot of problems, notably the instability, and discovered new technologies to deliver mRNA into cells and ways of modifying the coding sequence to make the mocktails a lot more safe to use in us humans. Okay. Once those problems were solved, the technology was really poised to become a revolutionary tool for medicine. This was just when CV-19 hit. See, very apropos, right? It looks kind of convenient, right? What makes a nucleic acid mocktail different from traditional? So I just said, I used the word conventional, I use that word, but most mocktails induce the antibody responses. Antibodies are the primary immune mechanism that blocks infections. As we begin to study nucleic acid mocktails, we discovered that because these mocktails are expressed within our cells, they were also very effective at introducing a T cell response. All right, and who do I have in my midst? And it is, ladies and gentlemen, none other than, please give it up for Marcy T. Marcy T.
Hi, everybody. See, I sound horrible, don't I? I've been under this weather, girl.
Oh, no, I've had the coof too.
It has been rain and snow for the past. Yesterday, it didn't stop. And then since they put up the I've been getting nauseated, like.
No.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, can I ask you a question, Marcy T? Ladies and gentlemen, this is Marcy T.
I just got up from a nap.
Miss Marcy T, you are welcomed at any time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Marcy T. Marcy T, I'm going to have a theme song for you by the time you get back.
Oh,
you got it.
I'm sorry I haven't been around very much.
Well,
I got knocked out though, Autumn. This is getting too much, isn't it?
It is, but Marcy T, I think we should backstage. You were invited for a conversation backstage.
I have to pick up my granddaughter too at 3:45, I think. I cried. I dropped her off, and all these little girls come out of the car with.
Oh, wow.
And they were so cute, and they were just and they're just laughing, and I cried. I'm like, I can't do this anymore.
But you know what, Marcy T? I will say I saw someone's face today for in my domain of work. And I was like, oh, it's so nice to see somebody's face. And the guy hugged me. We all, Marcy, I swear, this is a part of the traumatization and the desensitization at the same time, is to take away the contact, the connection that you make.
Yes.
This is important. I think this is just as important as this.
It is. Have you seen the Ricci monkey trials, what they did back in the 60s? They know dang well. I think it was Mansell.
Is Frankenstein? I think they were saying they were trying to bring him up on charges for trying to somehow study how they could transgender some of the primates.
Ew.
I,
Well, this has
Marcy,
been a long time ago, so they know when you take a mother this way and facial, the baby doesn't develop right. They miss milestones
wow.
of developmental. Another thing is this. It's
Mhm.
causing low oxygen here within seconds, and what's that do?
You think
Dumb.
it's stifling the development or their, oh wow. It's you know, I'm telling you, Marcy T, we better start looking at, there's going to be an entire generation, or if we're not careful, of people that came from this time.
Yeah. And how about add Flint, Michigan, since I'm from here? Water. What's lead do? The same thing.
Wow. I just can't believe,
That we're
I
not
don't know
all,
where we're I don't know where we're going to be the summer. I mean, how are the shelves looking? Just by the way, how are the shelves looking in your area?
okay, so the products are going down. Instead of having like 5, 6 coffees, cream, you only got like 2. And I noticed in Kroger, they have
Mhm.
shelving now that's see-through with locking mechanism on it. So you can
What?
look at the product, but
But
if
you
it gets locked, you're not going to get it. So I wonder if that has to do with the passport and
wow, right. But you know that, but to me, it's almost like it's criminal.
it
It's
is.
it's it's a crime against humanity to, I think that's what they're going to put people, they're trying to get people, they're forcing submission onto you. You
Yes.
see what you want,
Mm-hmm.
but you got to do what we tell
Right.
you to get this. If you want to eat, you
Yeah.
got to do this.
Yeah.
You know,
You said it earlier. I heard you when you said, "Does this seem weird to you guys that you got to have this now to get your?" I thought they worked for us.
right. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I thought we were free.
I, Marcy, I'm telling you, like, how far are they? I think they're getting ready to be close to saying, hey, these mocktails aren't the thing. We got to go to
Plan B.
CHIP
Yeah.
to safeguard
Mhm.
everyone.
And it's like, you know what? The minute you get out of bed, you're not safe. Okay, going to your bathroom. There's about 5 accidents you can have. That's proven. Life is not
Right.
guaranteed to be
It's not.
safe, and people cannot guarantee you're safe. We got to
No,
stop
no.
listening.
No, but you
People
know,
have, oh my
but when you think
God.
about it, Marcy, but it's also when you think of what they call it, predictive programming or
Yep,
pre-programming, they program it, that
mhm,
one word that we've all bought, that one
yep.
thing that we've all bought into starts with an I, insurance.
Oh yeah.
We all buy into car,
Yep.
medical, and this is
Mhm.
just in
It's a
case
Ponzi scheme.
you may never, right? You may never, the safer you are, the less you use it, but you got to still pay it. You got to keep paying it.
Yeah.
You got to keep giving up something to
I don't
keep
know.
them giving you that security, that protection. Oh, but you're
Yeah.
protected.
Yeah. Okay. That kind of like the MAIFA. They always had insurance, didn't they? Hi, it's time to pay your insurance, buddy.
Right. Right. And
And
it's
as soon as
just,
you said no, they broke in and stole something. See, if you would
or
have
they,
paid your, mm-hmm.
or they just, or they broke your arm or your leg or your neck, you know. Okay, ladies and gentlemen,
Everyone.
I confess. Ladies and gentlemen, I confess. I get my mafia education from Hollywood and
Me
Sylvester
too. And
Stallone's Rocky.
Goodfellas. I like Goodfellas.
Rocky
That's where
Balboa and his old days on the docks. That's where I got my mafia education from.
I know, me too.
I'm a
What
mafia
can you
education
say?
dropout.
So we got all these people going really now,
But okay,
like
so to
regular
that point,
people.
do you think it's the bee stung people that are
Yeah.
acting more erratic?
Okay, now I have a friend. I'm not going to say her name because
Sure,
I was
sure.
there this weekend and she got twice.
Ooh, okay.
And now she has been complaining since November that she's feeling not well.
That
And
would
she's going through all of this, and she keeps saying she has the FLU. That's what she feels like
Oh.
constantly. And I said, well,
But you know what, Marcy? I'm gonna be honest. You know, I just told you I gave up. I had the coof.
yeah,
They said I had the coof.
yeah, but
But you know what? But also, there's that stuff. I think I'm beginning to think that both the coof and the bee sting, you know, and the juice, I'm beginning to think it's going to get everybody anyway. It's
because
affecting
it's
whether
the
you have it.
number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
Yes, say, look up.
The shedding.
Yes, and look up, and the towers. They upped
Right.
that today or on the 19th. You know, they put it worldwide or nationwide.
Right. And
And
there's
as
only
soon as
one area
that
left.
happened, yeah, as soon as that happened, I started feeling like radiation ish poisoning, vomiting, headache. You know, all the stuff they said was the, you know, rock and roll their thing.
Right. But
Everything. And then like these people that have gotten that, it seems like they're acting even weirder now. And I don't know.
right. Well, you
It's
know,
getting crazy.
it is, and I'm telling you, like I personally, I mean, like I said, we'll do some backstage stuff for sure, but I'm telling you, things are not the same, Marcy.
Mm-mm.
And I think people around you, I think everybody's responding differently to
They
whatever,
are.
dare I say, whatever they are doing,
It's
it's
getting worse.
affecting every one of us
Yeah.
differently. I'm gonna tell you something else that I'm not hearing reports on. I'm just hearing an anecdotal. I'm hearing that the suicides are up.
Yes. And in
And they
children,
might ding me just because I said that word, but I
18 to
hear that it's
40,
up. And I
18 to
mean,
40-year-olds, it's up 65%. I see it happening. You know, don't let that get to your head, everybody, anybody that's going to listen to this, please don't. It's a game they're playing with us, and we gotta hang in here and know and get strong. Talk to somebody, talk to us. You know, you guys can talk to me anytime. You could talk to
well,
Autumn.
I'm over on Discord, and I put things there that are, dare I say, more flammable, much more flammable.
Yeah, they're over there. I heard doing the same thing if they don't like something.
Are you serious?
This is getting bad because look what
There's
happened
nowhere to go.
yeah, and there isn't. See, even in the woods, remember I saw a story they were talking about, oh, all these animals are sick, so we put cameras up in the woods. Don't kick them down. It's for your safety. So we can't even go hide in the woods now.
See, that's, oh wow. You know, I think you're
That's why
right,
you
Marcy.
guys, they're challenging, and we got to come out like this, but do it the right way. Civil, it's called
The-
civil D.
but do you see this? Do you see this also? Do you see like all these people that are going over, trotting over to DC? And I'm just saying, you know what? You guys can march all you want.
Yeah, what's
They
that?
are doing. They're doing. I mean, what is it? A march for freedom, march for.
Mhm.
I'm just thinking. I'm beginning to wonder if those people are just trying to get an edge on. Do they? Are you guys really caring about these issues? Or are you just trying to get an edge on your likes or your social media presence right now?
Maybe.
Because
I mean, it's
all of
crazy
those
that I'm sorry.
a lot of these, no, I'm just thinking, because I was thinking, well, that's a setup, right? I mean, could it be a setup? You going trotting over there, next thing you know, DC's got wires and stuff up around the buildings again, and you know
Well, how
they're
about that wall that they're building?
really.
It's
That's what I
concrete.
thought. I thought I heard that, but I wasn't sure.
Where's all the protests when we were going to put a wall at the border? Where's all them protests? Oh, I know it doesn't. You know, they don't have anybody with the money to. Hey, come on, protest here.
Right.
Is
Well,
there
it's just,
anybody in there? That's
well,
my question.
here's the thing. I know somebody that's a YouTube creator. He said that in DC that you cannot go in and order food. Like there, you got to have your pass. over there, like you cannot go into a restaurant and just sit down and order something. Like you got to have your papers. You got to have your papers.
Well, that's
or you
like the
can't get in.
Vatican City and London. There are their own little independent cities. So that's
Right.
okay with them. But it's like, that's not really okay since we're the taxpayer and we're the reason why you're sitting your butt in there, so-called. And you're not supposed to be doing this. So we got to do something, you guys.
It's
I
not.
don't know what it is, but we have got to get together and stop this because it's going down, whether we like it or not. And we're all getting it. Right.
Right. And then another liner that I didn't quite get to was that it looks like the people are of course, if the truckers are doing civil disobedience, but you're going to starve. You know what I mean? If they stop it, that's taking a stand. But at the same time, what are you going to do about
Can you
people
see
that
the
weren't
double
prepared?
speak? That's double speak.
I didn't even think about it that way.
The Indians told these suckers, you speak with a forked tongue. That's the kind of stuff they were doing to the Indians. And the Indians were, they didn't lie to each other. It was what it was, right? Then these people come in and start, oh yeah, this, that.
Oh my gosh. So you're saying I appreciate you for pointing that out, Marcy T, because I would have, so that's the forked tongue. That could be the analogy for the forked tongue.
That's what they're doing all over. And it a lot like that Rand Paul and Dr. Frankenstein there arguing every day. It's perfectly clear what's going on here. Why is it continuing? Why isn't this person someplace else with a bracelet on?
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. It's like, where's this bombshell? I don't know if I can even say that on here. Where's the smoking gun? Where's the bombshell that puts this stuff to bed? What's happened to us? What happened to us? What happened to us, Marcy T? Is it a worldwide
It's
campaign?
worldwide, but I believe that we have every government. Oops, should I even have said that? Any mind control agent that's going around right now that has been placed there by America is corrupted. That's exactly what it is. It's total corruption all around. And we took out 7 countries in 5 years per, what was that guy's name? Not Admiral, but I got to think. My mom went and seen him just before she died. And she died in 2001. And he's the one that he told, called someone and said, did you hear we're taking out 5 countries in 5 years? For what?
Wow.
And it was Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran's on there too, but they can't. That's another double speak there with that country. I don't know what. There's a lot of stuff going on here that if you're not aware of the history, that it's hard to see. And I'd like to tell everybody I know I don't like this channel, but on Netflix there's a movie called The Last Days. I want everybody to watch that.
Now, you want to plug it in? I'll plug it in, or you can plug it in if you want.
It's called The Last Days. I'm not going to say what it's about, but it's about 1930s and 40s, that time era during the WAR. Exactly what they're doing to us right now, they did to these certain group of people during World War.
Wow. Well, let me write that down.
They just changed the name.
And it's called the
Last Days. It's just Last Days.
Last Days. Okay.
I watched that the other night and I was howling in here because it was so horrible, because I could see it going on right now.
But why is it really a gift to have discernment, Marcy T?
Not
versus how is it that some people just last?
That's what discernment is. It's bittersweet. It's like, I would rather know and warn people and then not know and be sitting here and all of a sudden, somebody busts in here and takes me away because because of what I know is going to help me decide. I will never go to the second location. That's a rule of law with if you get kidnapped and they say, get in the trunk.
Right. Well, you know what you're making me think about right now. Do you realize that what is it? Seattle is reasonability still in here? It looks like some of these states are actually recruiting for what they're calling isolation facilities.
Yeah.
I may be calling it the wrong thing. But I know Washington State.
Yeah, I've seen these, and they didn't put all that money there and build these for nothing. We can't go. Do not go and see the weather disasters, so-called.
Yeah.
So Lyndon Baines Johnson, I'm going to say it again. He said at Texas AMU University, he who controls will control the world in 1962.
Wow.
So with these disasters, what's happening? People are being displaced out of their homes, right?
Right.
Well, hey, look at we got a containment center here. It's got showers and everything.
Oh my gosh, Marcy T. I wasn't even thinking about that.
See, because they don't want us to think like this.
It's very convenient, is what you're and the same thing, and the same thing with these shelves. I'm also thinking that's what they're going to do. What is it called? Some of them are calling the green zones. The green zones.
Yeah.
If you run out of nourishment, if your shelves are so bare, why don't you come down to the zone? And you can get you can get that formula, that product you need. Just come on down here. Yeah. But you got to do this in order to get it. And do you think you're going to be released if you don't have until they might say, oh, you can get this, but then what does it mean if you want more? Yet what else do you have to do you have to enroll? Do you have to enlist? Not enlist, but do you have to sign in?
See,
they're
setting it all up. It's convenient, isn't it? How it's all set up for them and for us. And if you think about it, they've been doing this for a long, long time. There was no way we could have known. You know why? Because we're not evil and we don't think that way.
No, but I do think you're right.
They use our goodness, the goodness in humans, to trick us and do this kind of stuff to us.
But you know what? And then there's another content creator who's talked about, I'm not going to say her name. She's talked about, she tried to convince other people of her own of her similar background that, the problem with Joe, the non-plumber, was not going to be about race. Look at your shelves. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then are they going to bring that narrative back to sell people? Okay, guys, I might have to take a little break.
Don't get all upset, Autumn. I hate telling you this stuff, but see, this is the stuff that I work through in my head while I'm sitting here going, I can't believe this is going on. And that's why